Yo, what is up YouTube, man? 94 driving dunk in random rec. At this point in NBA 2K24, we all know the dunk meter mechanics are pretty broken. Whether it is driving dunks or standing dunks, it doesn't really get stopped based on a defender's defense, whether it's interior defense, block. If you have the right angle for the dunk, as you guys can see right here, the meter's gonna be huge. You don't really knock somebody out of a driving dunk or a standing dunk that often. There are, times where if you have super high anchor like Gold or Hall of Fame, and you know positioning really well, you can stop it. But that's probably less than 1% of the 2K community. You can see right here too, in this video, I'm using my 6'9" slasher. It's only got a 76 3-pointer to go along with high driving dunk, good standing dunk, high close shot. So this build really isn't a shooter, but I still have the rating on the build because if somebody's sitting in the paint, I want to be able to shoot the wide open shot. Check this out, catch it on the fast break, do a little hop step and dot my guy wide open in the paint. You can see the defense as well, 85 steal, but when you're stacking the glove and the right stick ripper, the steal rating feels pretty decent. You're not going to be plucking a 95 ball handle PG with Gold, Hall of Fame, unpluckable consistently, but I'm put at shooting guard, small forward most of the time, so I'm not going up against point guards anyway. Right here, I mean, he's on my hip. I'm going up with the dunk. It's not even a contact dunk because even though he's there, it kind of gives me some space to take the dunk. Once again, I got the Mamba takeover. It looks like there's a lot of people in the paint, but I know I have the right angle, so I'm able to throw it down. In NBA 2K25, and you see a little post-up right here, I do imagine that dunk mechanics are going to be changed. They do got to make it to where if you have high interior, you have high block, it's going to affect the meter size. We can't have another 2K where a point guard with 25 block, 25 interior can sit in the paint, and if you try to dunk on him, it's going to be a tiny meter every single time just because of the game's positioning logic. At the same time, we can't have locks and back ends and centers with super high block, super high interior, and just because you get a good angle, their defense doesn't matter in the slightest. Let me know what you guys think about having contact dunks, high driving dunk, high standing dunk. I definitely want to see what the opinions of the 2K community are. I do see a lot of players with good driving dunk using the meter, whether it's standing or driving. Isn't super popular, but I would say, a good percent of the 2K population does do it. I would say maybe 20%. It's not a hard thing to do, but I know there are a lot of 2K players that are still confused by the whole thing. They have a PG matchup on them on their slasher with 99 driving dunk, so obviously they think, let me go dunk on this man. He's got no block, he's got no interior, it should be a big meter, and then it's a tiny meter, and then they never want to do the dunk meter again because at the same time, they can just hold down X and it will give them a nice dunk every single time. You can see in game one, I end up scoring 42 points. You saw a lot of the dunks. I get standing dunks on this build as well. I get close shots as well, so it helps in situations where if they do hit me late, I can get a standing dunk animation, or I can even get a close shot animation, which works if I have a smaller defender on me. Close shot's bad against builds with good defense, but it definitely still works against smaller mismatches, which, I could be put at shooting guard, I could put a small forward in the build I'm using in today's video is 6'9", so I definitely do have a height advantage over a lot of players. Playing random rec, though, as a build that is a quote-unquote slasher, the fast break is going to be your best friend. That's where you're going to be getting your dunks, and a lot of the times, too, sometimes people will do a decent job of getting back, but if you can just take the right angle, you can use that dunk meter to get your team a two-pointer every single time. Now, we all know in random rec, you're not always going to have the space and to be able to dunk. So that is why I made this build like I did. It's got post control, it's got high midi, so I can do post-ups. I can just take wide open jump shots. If I'm not getting my cuts to the hoop or I'm not getting hit on my cuts to the hoop, I have other things to go to. Now, this game, and I'm pretty sure game one, it wasn't really a problem of not being hit, though. They were definitely hitting me. You can see they're flopping. I'm getting good angles for the dunks. I'm even getting some offensive rebounds somehow. The build does not have any rebounding, but I kind of see this a lot. Sometimes people are just not in a good position to get the ball. I mean, centers, power forwards, they just don't go to the ball where the rebounding is going to be, and you're able to sneak in and grab it right here. A little bit of a fast break, doing a bit of a flashy dunk. You guys can see my guy's at the top of the key. Little flashy off the backboard lob into a layup that is flashy as well. I might have to make that a short. I'm getting plucks whenever I get a chance. The speed on this build, even though it's 6'9", is still pretty high. If you guys do want to see the build as well, just search Tonic Keyboard Larry Bird build build and it will pop up. One of my favorite builds to play on just because, I mean, you guys are seeing it. It does everything. The only thing this build does not have is high rebounding. And as a 6'9", you know, rebounding would be nice, but I made this build to play as a 5-out PG. I guard the top of the key, so I'm not always crashing for boards, but if I was going to make it for park, I'd probably lower the close shot, definitely add some more rebounding to it. You guys can see 35 points. I'm shooting 94% from the field, and I end the game shooting 83% from 3, 89% from the field with another 40 points. I got one more gameplay for you guys right here. Again, as you guys can see, it's all random rec gameplays. Even in the random rec where spacing is not the best, 94 driving dunk is absolutely overpowered. You don't even need to use the dunk meter, honestly. If you're just playing random rec, you can definitely get away with having high driving dunk and just going up with X. You can see a lot of the times I'm not really needing to go up with the dunk meter. I just do it because, you know, it's good repetitions for whenever I play against a team that is playing good defense, and I actually do got to try to work for the right angles to get a dunk meter to pop off for me. If you guys were wondering too, 94 driving dunk is perfect. It's the super overpowered mark for dunking. I would not go any higher. You could definitely go lower, you know, if you wanted to go like say 90, 89, but I will say those dunk meters can be a bit smaller. With the 94 driving dunk, as long as you got the right angle for the dunk meter, it's going to be giant every single time and pretty much impossible to miss. As you guys can see right here, I'm ahead of him. You know, you say he gets a bit of a contest late and it turns into a contact dunk, but it's a giant meter every single time. Now, I do think, like I said, in NBA 2K25, they do need to make it where if he had high block, high interior, maybe that will affect the meter size, so it actually gives you a reason to have, you know, high block and high interior on your build. It doesn't feel that way right now. And that's why, you know, in the 2K League, there's players using the dunk meter every single play, dominating. There's Joe Knows in the Pro-Am scene getting the meter dunks every single time. Whenever centers get an offensive rebound, you can see they got the Kobe triple threat, and they just do a jab step into a standing meter dunk, because once again, it doesn't matter the rating of the center that's guarding them. If they get a good angle, it's going to be a giant meter every single time. I mean, it's fun though, you know, NBA 2K24 definitely interesting as a dunking game, whether that was driving or standing. I'm curious to see what NBA 2K25 is looking like. I don't think it'll ever be this overpowered again, but I mean, who knows? If you guys did enjoy the video, if you do want to drop a like and subscribe, of course, I do appreciate it a ton, man. This is Tonic. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.